Good afternoon. It is college football playoff day on the Spunky Spectrum Sports and Driving to the Top production as the Big D, that would be me, yours truly, predicts the first round of the 2024 college football playoff. Yes, 12-team playoff, so 4 games, one tonight, and 3 of them all, and you'll find your winner. First, Merry Christmas. It is 5 days before the big day, before Santa comes. Secondly, please subscribe, like, and share the Driving to the Top production and the Smoky Spectrum Sports. Also, check me out, Big D Podcast with episodes. So, obviously, 12-team playoff, first round games on college campuses. Craziness, drama, intrigue, maybe a bit of frosty mix. I mean, these are games Frosty the Snowman would like because they're going to be cold, good. There won't be, yeah, only one game played in warm weather this weekend. That's, of course, the game in Austin. But 4 interesting games and, you know, different sort of matchups than anyone would have predicted before the. I mean, nobody would have predicted SMU in the playoff. I don't think anybody would have predicted Indiana, even with its lackluster schedule, making the playoff. But you know what? That's why we play the games. So let's dive into tonight's game between Indiana and Notre Dame. First off, it's a good thing both these teams are used to the weather in Indiana because it's going to be cold. I don't think it'll be snowing, although if you saw Justin Michaels on the Weather Channel this morning, it was snowing, but should be okay snow wise. But the weather be cold, windy. It won't be the best conditions for football tonight. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure we really see a lot of throwing. I mean, Notre Dame's become a power running team with Love and of course Riley Leonard with Kurt Cinetti, O'Rourke there. I think this is a running game no matter what. I mean, yes, Indiana's been like college football stolen this year, 10-0 until we know what happened against Ohio State and Columbus. But in that game, Indiana was clearly outclassed. Let's see. Every team not named Michigan and Georgia has been outclassed against the Ohio State University. And then what happened with Indiana? The easiest bet of the year. Take Indiana plus minus $1 million against Purdue. But Indiana's, I mean, Coach Cignetti, Coach of the Year, what he's done with Indiana getting in the playoff. And frankly, I'm not sure. I don't think Indiana will be intimidated. Okay, yes, Indiana did not play well against Michigan and Ohio State, but both those teams, man for man, were probably better than Indiana. In tonight's game, this could be more like a Michigan or maybe even lesser version of Michigan because Notre Dame doesn't have the defensive line for Mason Graham. And Curtis O'Rourke's a good quarterback, and Cinetti, getting him 3 weeks of prep time will help. Also, getting Curtis O'Rourke time to get that thumb healthy, even though it's going to be cold. And yes, teams have gone into the transfer portal for all kinds of players, but Cinetti brought in a lot of guys from James Madison, Rourke being one of them. And Indiana didn't go after 18, 19-year-old freshmen or something. They went after men, guys who've been around 3, 4, 5 years. And frankly, Indiana succeeded while others have failed with the point. I mean, Florida State this year, oof, USC this year, oof, LSU this year, oof, Indiana, all they're playing in the playoff. And frankly, I don't think Indiana will be intimidated. The players, heck, most of Indiana's players be more used to the cold than Notre Dame's players from California, Florida, wherever. And I mean, we saw Cincinnati be very aggressive against Ohio State. I think he could be even more aggressive tonight. And frankly, for Notre Dame, you know, yeah, the Irish are 11-1, but who has Notre Dame played this year? I mean, yeah, they beat Texas A&M, but that was with a different quarterback, and they beat who else? Purdue. Let's see. Purdue, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, FSU, Virginia, Army, and USC. Oh yeah, they lost to Northern Illinois. I mean, frankly, Notre Dame's two best wins are against Navy and Army. Navy and Army. And so you wonder how Notre Dame would be against not just a Big Ten team, but really well coached team. And yes, Freeman's coached big games, whether it be in DC or here now, but it's different when you're the defensive coordinator and you're the head coach. And Notre Dame's offense is not a pass first offense, a run first offense. I mean, Riley Leonard hasn't even thrown for 230 yards in a game this year. Yeah, I've got the stat right here. Leonard's season high in passing yards is 229 against Stanford. And he only threw the ball 22 times. Leonard's season high in pass attempts is 33 against Virginia. I mean, hasn't even thrown for 2,100 yards, so not even averaging 200 yards a game. Now, Leonard's made up for lack of passing with 14 rushing touchdowns, so Leonard gives you that dual threat quarterback with a role, a guy capable of moving the ball downfield. And unlike the game against the Buckeyes, Notre Dame doesn't have a great wide receiver. They've got backs, assuming they've got backs. I think Notre Dame's back, assuming I'm trying to think who's the back iffy tonight. I think it's Love, not yeah, Jeremiah Love is the one. His Notre Dame's all-world tailback, but was hurt the second half of the USC game, so who knows if he's 100%. He rushed for nearly 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. Touchdowns. Looks like he's ready to go. Yeah, he looks like he should be ready to go. And then Howard Cross, the big defensive lineman, should be ready. He hasn't played since. Yeah. Frost hasn't played since the FSU game. So getting him back is key. Loves leads the Irish with nearly 950 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, suffered a knee injury against Southern California. The Irish do have other backs available. Devin Ford. So frankly, with the weather and these teams, I think we're looking at a low-scoring game night. Now, I mean, depending on what site you look at, I think this could be. I mean, could it be a 17-10 game? Yeah, I think Notre Dame could win. I think Notre Dame wins, but maybe Indiana keeps it close. I mean, I don't think it'd be the craziest thing if Indiana won tonight. And frankly, if Indiana won and all the Hoosier fans said, "Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?" And I mean, from Notre Dame, a lot of people ask, why isn't Notre Dame in the conference? Why aren't the Irish in the Big Ten or ACC or whatever conference? Well, everyone can answer those questions tonight. Or Indiana, you haven't played anybody this year. Well, this is Indiana's chance to get that big win against a big school. I mean, it's not like Indiana and Notre Dame play each other. I think this is the third game between these teams. So Interesting. Also, not much of a weather difference between Bloomington and South Bend. Now SMU and Penn State. Likely one of SMU may be the biggest surprise in college football this year. I mean, nobody would have predicted the Mustangs go 11-2, darn near win the ACC. SMU's been a great road team. Won what 10 in a row, and actually going from a group of five conference to a Power Four conference this year. It's this year. Brashard Smith's over 1,000 yards this year. This year, what could be the ultimate of whiteouts tomorrow afternoon? I mean, I wish it was snow in Happy Valley tomorrow, but that's frankly with SMU. I expect a lot of Kevin Jennings, a lot of Brashard Smith tomorrow. I mean, both guys have been big. Jennings 22 touchdowns. Brashard Smith ran in for 14 and then caught four more as a receiver. I mean, some of you may not have that true number one receiver. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys, Broderick Daniels, Keyshawn Smith, Jordan Hudson, so a lot of good, solid receivers. But, I mean, SMU's story this year, I talk about Coach Zanetti, Coach of the Year. Well, Rhett Lashley very well could have been Coach of the Year, too. He was the former Miami OC, actually coached at SMU before Miami, then back to SMU. So, he's used to this game and used to the program, and I don't think SMU will be intimidating them all. Now, will SMU have enough to take on Penn State? We don't know. Now, as I said before the year, Penn State might have been hit the hardest by a 14 playoff because Penn State was good, but not great enough. Nittany Lions would have made a 12-team playoff, 4, 5, 6 times, but haven't made the playoffs. So Penn State's been good, just not good enough to beat Michigan and Ohio State. And guess what? If you're not beating Michigan and Ohio State, you're not winning the Big Ten. I mean, Penn State's won 10 games for a third straight year. First time that's happened since the early 80s. And Penn State might have one of the best running back combos in the country. Everybody talks about Ohio State's combo, but Nick Singleton and K'Twan Allen are really good. But this is a great matchup because SMU's got a top 5 rush defense in college football, so strength against strength. Penn State's got a great rushing offense. SMU's got a great rushing defense. So who wins that battle? And both Penn State running backs racked up over 100 yards against Oregon, and we know how good Oregon is. So if Penn State runs the ball like they did against the Ducks, it could be a long day for the Mustangs. But if SMU shifts Penn State's running game in reverse, then Drew Allar is going to be asked to throw the ball. Luckily for Allar, he might have the best tight end. Well, he's got the best tight end in college football. Football, 6'6". He could do everything. Probably land a plane if need be. I mean, 88 catches for over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. And sometimes, if need be, Warren could even take a snap and run it in himself. Talk about a versatile player. Warren can end up at fullback, wide out. He could be an H back, quarterback, and interesting on defense. Abdul Carter. Penn State, great defensive player. What else is new? Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter. But the question with Penn State is whether James Franklin can win a big game. He's 4-5 in bowl games. We know what his record is against Michigan and Penn State. We know what his, and even in the Big Ten championship game, yeah, Penn State played well, but Oregon won again. So, how will Franklin get his guys ready for this game? And yes, it'll be a whiteout, but will it be the crazy whiteout Penn State usually gets at night? This being a 12 noon start time might make things, especially with the weather, might make things a little frostier in Happy Valley tomorrow afternoon. And how will these teams recover? Because these were two of the teams that lost in championship Saturday. So quick turnaround, unlike teams that didn't play. And then the third game, that being Clemson and Texas. And frankly, you call Clemson an underdog because other than Nick Saban and maybe Kirby Smart, I don't think there's been a better coach the last decade than Dabo Swinney. 2 national championships, playing for the game every other year, seemingly for 5 or 6 years. And this game's actually sort of a homecoming because Cade Kubnek, the Clemson quarterback, is from Austin, so he could have easily been the Texas quarterback, but now playing for the Dolphins. So Kubnek, dual threat ability. And it's really, has been the anti-transfer university. You talk about transfer portal and all these guys going everywhere. Dabo's not bought into it. Whether it's hurt Clemson in the long run, who knows? Clemson's, Texas got a couple interesting transfers, including a former Clemson player, that being Andrew Cuba. So, it was big against Michigan. So, frankly, I think man for man, Texas might have the best defense in college football. They've got defensive linemen, linebackers, all kinds. And Texas might have the best secondary in all of college football, and that includes Jim Thorpe Award winner Jade Barron. Sorry if I did. So Texas got a great defense, all kinds of depth. The big question is, what the heck has happened with Quinn Ewers? Because Texas offense has gone in the dump lately. Since the Red River rivalry, Texas put up 15, 27, 49, 49 against Florida, 20, 31, 17, and then 19. I don't think Quinn Ewers has been healthy most, if not all, of the year. And B, I think Texas offense been more conservative. That great defense, we haven't seen Texas throw the ball down the field much. Now, that might work against Vanderbilt. That might work against Kentucky. Will it work against Clemson? Maybe. But if Texas wins this game, I frankly think they've got to open up the offense more. Texas might not have Jeremiah Smith, but Texas got okay, good wide receivers. I think the Longhorns need more. Now, to be honest with you, I think we see quite a bit of Arch Manning in the bowl. I think Arch Manning gives his team a spark. I mean, scored a big touchdown against A&M. I think Arch gives Texas, excuse me, more mobility. He can throw the ball downfield, run the ball. So maybe third down, wildcat package, short yardage, maybe like that Tim Tebow package for Florida 18 years ago. But just changing. I mean, Twin here was throwing too many picks, and frankly, this Texas offense become way too conservative. I mean, even against Georgia, it looked like Texas played not to lose in overtime. And Dappable. I mean, who knows? You know, if the crowd will even be in that game. I mean, they're all two teams that absolutely cannot lose them all. One being Texas, and one being the next team I'm going to mention. And I mean, weather's not going to be an issue in Austin, but the pressure could be because you imagine Clemson jumps out early, that crowd might turn against Texas. So, Salk's a really good coach, but you imagine Texas loses them all, the pressure's going to become more than orange. It might be burnt orange by the end of the game. And then the nightcap, maybe the craziest first round game. I mean, 8, 9 games always spicy in college basketball. Well, this game's extra spicy on the football field. Tennessee and Ohio State. And I mentioned pressure. Nobody is facing near the pressure that Ryan Day faces tomorrow. Honestly, if Ohio State loses, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Day is either fired or there are significant changes. If not, he's under duress. You better beat Michigan, otherwise your butt is fired. I mean, Ohio State spent $20+ million on this roster. Got Chip Kelly, got Will Howard, got all these guys. And also, a lot of Ohio State's defense players came back, pass rusher, DBs, Emeka Buka came back. Frankly, Ohio State shouldn't be playing in this first round game. They should be resting, getting ready for Pasadena, New Orleans, Fiesta, Glendale, or Atlanta. And Ryan Day's an excellent coach. I mean, he's 66-10. But everybody's going to look at his 0-4 record in last 4 Michigan games. And it's not just that he lost against Michigan, it's how he lost this year. I mean, Ohio State's offense lacked energy, lacked charisma. I mean, there was no fluidity. I mean, Ohio State tried to run, but yet Michigan's got a great defensive front. And Ohio State didn't try to throw the ball. When Michigan's All-American corner was out, the Buckeyes have 2 All-American wide receivers in Abuka and Jeremiah Smith, and yet Chip Kelly wants to run the ball down Michigan's throat. I don't know. I think we see one of 2 Ohio State teams tomorrow night. One being really good, one being really bad. The one being really good is a team that can bounce back. I want to see the Ohio State team that we saw the first half against Georgia 2 years ago. Throw the ball down the field, take chances, because then Ohio State could win the whole thing. But if we see the Ohio State team that played against Michigan, the Buckeyes are going to be in for a battle because Tennessee might have the best defensive front in college football. They've got guys galore on that defense. I mean, if anybody's watched Tennessee's defensive line this year, oh my goodness. They've got dudes everywhere. I mean, James Pierce is a potential first round top 15, top 20 pick. And we know Ohio State's biggest problem right now is the offensive line. A couple guys going down, and now they face Tennessee's vulnerable defensive line. So good. And how will the weather play in the game? It'll be cold, could be windy, maybe some powder. Frankly, I think this is going to be a very physical game. The key matchup might not be Ohio State's offense against the Tennessee defense. It might be Tennessee's offense against Ohio State's defense. I mean, both these teams have got great defenses. Ohio State's got guys who'll be playing on Sunday this time next year. But frankly, Tennessee's offense been a little disappointing this year. Nico, the redshirt freshman quarterback's been inconsistent, better than late, but what's going to happen? An on the road, hostile environment, perhaps. I mean, who knows how many Tennessee fans will be in this game. But good news for Tennessee is that they've got a great running back, Dylan Sampson. Led the I mean, over almost 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns this year for the workhorse running back. And generally, if Tennessee plays well, Sampson gets fed. So he'll get the ball 20, 25 times. The game's close. And frankly, both teams, Ohio, especially Ohio State, want a little bit of payback. Ohio State lost to Oregon and Michigan. Tennessee lost to Arkansas and Georgia. So these two teams, frankly, are better than SMU and Penn State. But this feels more like a semifinal, quarterfinal, semifinal, or at worst a quarterfinal game. And this is a first round matchup. So um, and frankly, for Tennessee, Josh Heupel's a really good coach. I want to see what Tennessee does against Ohio State. Can Tennessee go on the road, which has been a problem for them lately, and win a game? Okay. It's one thing to go on the road, win in Norman, win in Nashville. Go on the road, win at the shoe, because college football's better when Tennessee's great. Tennessee's really good. Is Tennessee great? We're going to get that answer tomorrow night. I think, and frankly, whoever wins this game is going to have a very difficult turn on what could be a brutally physical game in cold weather tomorrow night. I mean, you imagine the winner. You have to beat, these teams have to beat Tennessee, Ohio State, then Oregon, then potentially Texas, then Georgia. If either one of these teams won the national championship, that team would have earned it. Go through that gauntlet. Oof. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be. Everyone said don't get in the 8-9 brigade because that's going to be brutal. So, you know, you want my picks? Yeah, I like Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas. And Rocky Top, I like Tennessee over the Buckeyes in Columbus. Yep, I'm going Irish, Nittany Lions, Longhorns, and Volunteers, baby. That means Indiana. That means Indiana, SMU, Clemson, and Ohio State all winning them all. I hope I'm. I hope I'm right. So thanks for tuning into this to my Surround College Football playoff preview. Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll be back with more later.